Seeing none. Communications, we have none. And we'll move right to 5, which is our, we'll convene our broker and property hearing at this time. And I would entertain a motion to open the meeting for one. So we'll start there. Got a motion and a second to open this hearing. All in favor? Motion carries. This is a meeting to advertise the buying and selling of Lakeland properties. And at this time, I guess I'd entertain a motion to officially hire our broker.
Right, because we already did the other one.
To sell excess real estate.
Yeah, I would entertain a motion to hire Mike Patka to sell the excess land at Lima Bright.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah,
Yes, I know what we're talking about.
Show the slides.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the discussion.
So we'll go here first. So Lima Brighton, the school itself is right down here. I have these blocked out because those are private properties that do not belong to the school district. We are discussing this land right out here. This land currently has, the divisions need to be redone because they aren't correct anymore, but this is off Beacon.
Those are old right-of-ways that were
Yes.
done long time ago when they thought those streets would go through there.
Yes. So we have these two parcels. One has a baseball field on it, one is the old septic system. It is not land that is needed to utilize Lima Brighton in an educational capacity whatsoever. So it seemed like it would be in the best interest of Lakeland to sell that off at this time. It's not something that we need. So I also wanted to mention, I've talked about it several different times, we've talked about it in the board listening tours, the 60% capacity law. The legislator says that all buildings need to be used to 60% of their capacity. The capacity of Lima Brighton is about 340 students. We house 120 student pre-K program in there, and then we have the big program. So we are at about 7 to 9% capacity in that building. So just to keep that on everybody's forefront. And then by selling these parcels of land, we would like to use that money to purchase land that is adjacent to Lakeland Junior Senior High and LIS.
And you can show
This
that.
picture, which I've shown before in board meetings. So that shows the approximately 35 acres. Currently, we have talked to all 3 of the families involved, and 2 of the families are willing to play with us after the appraisals. So the other family is willing to give us first rights to the property when it does come up for sale. So
Yeah,
that is what I can tell you about it.
we have to, by law, have to get 2 separate appraisals, and then the school corporation cannot pay more than the average of the 2 appraisals. So our hands are tied. Even if we wanted to pay someone more, we cannot do that.
But just to reiterate, the land being sold at Lima Brighton is not the building of Lima Brighton. It is excess land that is not necessary for that building to be used for any kind of educational purpose.
Really, it just gets used to be vandalized right now.
Right.
The ball diamonds
The
gets
ball diamonds.
vandalized quite a bit, and then it's just mowing.
And the property adjacent to here is, just for future possible expansion to our sports complexes, fields, parking lots. At this time, we don't have any major plans. There's some families that were looking to sell their property that bordered us, and it was an opportunity for Lakeland to not let that go to someone else. Borders us. So that's all we have. Any more discussion from the board on that? Okay. We have a motion and a second for Mike to be our broker. Mike Patka.
We all knew who we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I know.
Heather, you did.
P-A-T-K.
P-A-T-K.
M-I-K-E.
Very good.
Guys, take some difficult words.
So, all in favor? Motion carries. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn this hearing now.
So,
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries, and, the broker property hearing is now over. Melanie, are you caught up yet? Are you good?
I don't know.
Okay.
She can put the
Are you
pieces
stuck
in.
on mic or? Nope, we're good.
Okay, we'll move right to reports.
Okay.
You're up.
I am up. So we're gonna start with some gym updates. The electrical work is finished, the painting is done, the decals are on the walls, the new sound system is in and sounding great. Laguana is currently working on capturing digital images of the photos that were on the walls. Banners have been or are being ordered for conference teams. The branding committee is being scheduled to look at floor designs, and then when we narrow that down, we will get public opinion on those at some of the ball games. Probably the Hall of Fame game would be a great game to get some input on those floors if it's not too late with the schedule. The replacement for the floor is scheduled after basketball season, and we are also working on getting some estimates for some bleacher replacement, since the floor itself came in lower than what we had anticipated. So that was a good thing.
How long in advance does the company need the design?
I really don't know.
I'm just thinking about that with the, if we wait till the Hall
Yeah.
of Fame game, that's
I'm
too late.
I'm afraid it might be too late, but that would be a great time because that's a well-attended event. But yeah, so we will talk to the floor company and figure that out. If we can't do it at the Hall of Fame game, it'll be done before. Okay, and then another thing that we are talking about is creating our own Hall of Fame. And these are just some inspirational pictures. 3 of them have come from our architect design person, Kyle Kiefaber. The other one is from Marion High School. That was recommended by Dale Gearhart that I should look at that, and I thought it was pretty cool. So that's the purple one. Wanted to share that. So none of these are probably what we're going to end up with. It's just things to get us thinking about what could it look like. What could we do that would be a fabulous way to represent our athletes and maybe even our academics in the future. Other construction updates, the bond projects, all the Lakeland primary bond projects have been completed, and they've been completed for a while. Junior, senior high, however, we're told it's gonna be done by the time Christmas break is over. I disagree. How do you feel, Jason?
Very optimistic in that everybody at the construction meeting said they did not renew their
True, they did
license
say
to
that.
work in LaGrange County after the 1st of January. So
Right.
that was I thought, a great sign. Or
Yes.
they're just not going to come
They're
back.
just done.
One of the two.
Great.
I took that optimistically that they were going to be done.
Yes. So one of the things discovered in the last construction meeting is that the original specs for the project, they had said to put in the PA speakers that had been taken out. So maybe original to the building, maybe not, we don't know, but they look like they could have been. They're very yellowed and awful looking, and I would hate to see those go back in nice bright white new ceiling tiles with new lighting. So I said, stop talking and order those speakers. But I did hear them say something about 4 weeks lead time. That's why I'm not so sure it's gonna be done. But maybe just one piece of it won't be done by then. We'll
Send
see.
a couple guys back to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
We do have some non-bond projects going on too. So at Lakeland Primary, we're currently working on a couple of rooms in the kindergarten wing. There was some discrepancy in pipe sizing as we went to hook up, I think, our temp spec units. So that kind of put our project behind a little bit, and we've been working on that. At this point, no further rooms at Lakeland Primary have been planned. There are rooms that will obviously need to be done, but they aren't in the scope of work for right now. We are looking at some cabinetry that might need replaced in the first grade and then in the kindergarten. When we did the first grade rooms, all those rooms were done pretty much top to bottom, but the old coat cabinets and things were not redone. I would like to see those done, but we're looking at bids for them. And then at the junior senior high, we did purchase some of the temp spec units for the rooms that have not been upgraded. So we do have some of those. And Andy is working on a room by room plan, trying to prioritize which rooms are most direly in need of their temp spec units, which is all of them. It's a problem. But we're gonna try and come up with a prioritized plan of how to get those upgraded. So that is the updates on construction. So now we're to Lakeland by the numbers. Your enrollment update as of December 11th. We were down 8 students overall at 1545. So compared to the end of the 22-23 school year, we are down 29 students. And you can see which grade levels had falls and which had some small gains. We have the teacher appreciation grant. That was paid, I think in the last, was that paid in the last payroll? The grand total for that grant was $57,418.75. Teachers had to have been employed with Lakeland last year and be employed with us on December 1st. They must have been effective or highly effective in their evaluation rating for the year before. Teachers scoring highly effective are required by law to get 25% more than the teachers that score effective. And teacher retirement fund contributions are a part of the grant distribution, so that is taken from the grant. And then once the funds were deposited, we had 20 days to get those distributed to teachers. So I can attest that you do use algebra in real life. All right, and then December 1, because you had to figure out what do you get for effective based on your total, and you gotta take this stuff. That's why James C's around, right, James C? Because I tried. We had our December 1 special education count. We have 383 students within Lakeland School Corporation that qualify with a disability, numerous disabilities. So on this breakdown, if they have an asterisk, it means it's a small enough population that I did not report the number in order to protect their identities, because when you get small enough, they're easily identifiable. And then if we don't have any in that category, I did report it as a 0. So you can see that we have 30 students that are full-time emotional disability students. We have 31 preschool special education students. We have 21 students that fall in the autism spectrum. We have 21 students that fall under emotionally disability other, which means that's not necessarily a full-time placement for them. We have 108 students in our district that qualify with a specific learning disability. We have 21 that qualify with developmental delay, 17 mild intellectual disability, 73 other health impairment, and we have 62 that have speech or language as their primary disability, and then we have 70 students that qualify with that as a secondary disability. So that means they qualified in one of the other categories I mentioned, and in speech and language, so they have a dual exceptionality. So that is our special ed breakdown. Another number for you, the Title II grant was confirmed. We will receive $88,470.47. Title II grants pay for the new teacher onboarding that we do. It pays our department head stipends. We pay a stipend for our EL director from that. It pays for the fees involved in going to professional development conferences. It also pays for our master's reimbursement program. And then we are moving into the realm of professional learning communities, and it pays for our consultant for training inmates. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
All right, tonight.
Board have any questions? All right, treasurer.
All right. So in the education fund, we're at 92% of the year at the end of November. In the ed fund, we've collected 94.51%. In the operations fund, 69.5%. Expenditure wise, we are at in the ed fund 86.9% of our ed fund in the revenue budget expended, and 93.6% in the operations fund. So overall, we're 84.9% expended. We're doing pretty good. The operations fund is a little over 92%. with all the things we've had going on, all of our projects. I'm not shocked at all. So, but I think we'll be all right. I mean, I'm not really concerned at all, even going to this last month. They've all been warned. No. Keep expenditures down. Yeah. Unless it's on fire, don't spend it, pretty much. So, I, of course, always, when I compare last year to this year, I get a little bit excited over this. I always forget that we moved $1 million over to the rainy day fund. So it kind of gives me heart palpitations when I see it. We're $1 million off from last year. But yeah, I'm like, oh wait, gosh. So anyway, so yeah, we'll have our big deposit from tax collections in November. Then this month yet for operations fund, so that'll go up. So and I assume at this point we'll probably be a little over 100% on ed fund for revenue as well. Once I get our deposit on Friday for that, so
We're still 300
yeah.
thousand above last year.
Yeah, we're still like when you put it all together,
Yeah.
like we're in good shape. So I'm not really worried. I just like I said, I sometimes forget about that $1 million and I start having like literally like a panic attack. What just happened? Oh wait, never mind. So yeah, we're still in good shape though. I'm still expecting to be able to put money into the rainy day fund at the end of this year. So
Excellent.
so any questions or anything?
Anything, board?
No.
Okay. School board president's report. Just want to wish everybody a happy break here. We won't see you until we come back, so enjoy that time break, and wish everyone that happy holidays going into those times to spend with your families and kind of a much needed break to grind out the rest of the year. So that's all I have. We'll move right into new business because we have no unfinished business. Number one is everyone's always curious of the school calendar.
So the school calendar, this is the calendar the LEA voted overwhelmingly for. So they like the August 12th start rather than a slightly earlier start. We have originally was scheduled with 14 2-hour delays based on our 1003 waivers, but we removed one in order to not have one the week of final exams. Spring break was adjusted. This could be a big deal for people. We're used to at Lakeland lining up with Westview spring break and being the first complete week in April. What happens then is our impact students end up with no spring break. So by moving the spring break back a week, we start March 31st and go through April 4th. That will line up with the second week of impact spring break so that those students will also have a break. So there may be teachers not so happy with it, but I think it was the best choice for our students. So that's the way we rolled with that. There are 2 teacher days at the beginning of the year, which we did this year, which I thought worked out very well, and I did get a lot of positive feedback on the ability to actually do some training and have some meetings with our staff before the students arrive. So that's a good thing. We maintained the split fall and midwinter breaks, which was popular in the calendar survey that we did for last year's calendar, so we kept that going. Parent-teacher conferences have not been added to this calendar yet. The principals and I need to sit down and talk about when those are gonna fall based on all the different vacation days and when the end of the quarters are, and we would like to split those up so that the teachers aren't staying late 2 nights in the same week. So we need to work out how that's gonna work. So that would be the calendar for next year, with a start date for staff of August 12th and an end date for staff of June 2nd, which means the students do come back after Memorial Day and they will go till May 30th.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. There's your calendar. Spread away. Spread the calendar out now.
All right.
Okay, number 2 is the Middleton Instrument Recycling Assessment.
So I did not create a slide for this one, I probably should, and we do have Chance here, so he's willing to speak on this also. But Middleton's Instrument Recycling will come in and they will look at all of our instruments that are beyond repair at this point and are now no longer usable or useful to us. And they will purchase those instruments from us. So that is what I am asking you to approve to have done.
We have quite a few, Jim.
Yeah. Right now we have inventory spread across 3 buildings. We've got some stuff up at Lima Brighton. We have stuff over at LIS, and we have stuff in the band room. I would estimate that realistically, probably 2/3 of our total inventory is beyond repair. So when we look at a service like this, what they do is they basically scrap it for parts, and they sell the parts to repair shops. We aren't going to get any value out of these instruments basically any other way. Yeah, I mean, you could make a lamp out of them. I mean, nobody's going to play music on them. So selling to a company like this where they can actually pull value out of them, could we part them individually and probably get more value than what Middleton's would pay? Of course. I mean, it's a middleman, but I don't have time to do that. So like, it's honestly, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, really, these would be relegated to the dumpster pretty much any other way. So
who decides? Is that you that makes the decision on like this is usable, this is not? Do they come in and do that? Or?
Sure. So I have been over the last year and a half systematically sending stuff to our music instrument partner, Quinlan and Fabish, and having their repair techs make that determination. Unless it is something that I can very easily tell. For instance, we've got one baritone that has been partially run over by a car. It's not fixable. Like, it's not. I can look at that and say, that's not playing again. Like, if it's something that's painfully obvious, I'm making the call. If it's something that's borderline, I have sent it to them and gotten that call back. So that's basically what we've been doing with the stuff that was on the edge. So.
How do we replace all that?
So that's literally one of the nice things about that is they pay for what they take. And I'm going to, my hope is to use that money to begin the process of purchasing replacement fleet for us. I've also been looking pretty aggressively at Indiana Arts Commission grants that we could apply for that would also help us replace that fleet. The window for those grants is open in January and February. So I've started the process of working on that. And I met with their deputy director a few months ago talking about how we can make that happen. So.
What are all those things doing up at Lima? They were just there when...
There were some that were at Lima when we were there. I'm not sure why. I remember them in the little cubbies in the pizza room.
So basically what happened was when we did the consolidation, this is the best I can figure out. When we did the consolidation, there was a little bit of everything, a little bit of everywhere. And there wasn't an adequate storage in the high school band room for everything to be collected. And so there was space at Lima Brighton. So it's all in one room along with a bunch of other stuff.
Things that needed space.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
Okay.
50-50. So.
So, entertain a motion to approve. So moved. We got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Now, 3 is the resolution to the waiver.
Yes, before you have a resolution for the what's called a 1003 waiver, that allows us to look at our instructional year in minutes instead of in days. So what that allows us to do is break our year up into minutes differently. So we have utilized the waiver this year to provide 2-hour delays that are focused on professional development in each building on things that they are in need of for both our teachers and our paraprofessionals. So I would like to apply for that waiver again for the 2024-25 school year to continue our 2-hour delay system, providing consistent time for our in-depth literacy instruction that we're doing at Lakeland Primary currently, extending that and then extending that out to Lakeland Intermediate School. We will we'll also be adding conscious discipline training throughout the year next year for Lakeland Primary, possibly for Lakeland Intermediate. We haven't decided if we're going full bore with that yet or not. Lakeland Junior Senior High would utilize their time for some professional learning communities, training and implementation, and then all buildings will continue with the elevation modules, which are focused on improving instruction for our English language learners. What we eliminate from this year would be the EL time where Stacy was visiting the buildings doing presentations, so that we would have enough time with fewer 2-hour delays on this upcoming calendar than we had this year. We needed to make a little more room for the training we wanted to do.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any more discussion on this?
I just think, I mean, we had this conversation at the last, what was it, LEA meeting, one of the meetings about sticking with it, because I know there's some negative, like not negative, but just kind of like what are we gaining from it? But our scores haven't improved enough. Like we don't know if it's working or not yet. We're only 6 months in. Like you gotta invest the time into it to actually see what the results end up being. So I think it's smart to do it for a second.
Give it some more soap time.
Correct.
Do you think 2 years will be enough time, or?
I think we'll start to see improvement in student scores in that time, but not as
Stop.
much as we'll get. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that we have a history of putting in initiatives and dropping them before we wait long enough.
That's why I was
I
asking.
mean, if you read books on change, 3 to 5 years is what it takes for change to take hold. So my recommendation would be to continue trying it for 3 to 5 years to then look at your results and see what you have coming up.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item, well, you got the legal representation.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know if you have it or not. So awesome.
Legal representation, we got our annual letter from Eberhard, Weimer, and Glick for renewal of their services for the 2024-25 school year. They have not changed their rates, so it will be the same. I think it was 175 per hour, 200 per hour if we're in court. We try to stay out of court.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll move on to item 5, and that's approval of a volunteer basketball coach.
Is he qualified?
Yeah. A volunteer.
What's his background?
So the reason that is pulled out is just for transparency purposes. We didn't want you to be in the middle of the consent agenda.
I appreciate that.
So moved.
Oh, no.
There's a misspelling, Brett that.
Yeah. It's because he's a superhero on the
Yep.
court.
Oh, nice.
You ever seen him try to dunk?
Batman.
This guy. He has to have a cape.
Yep, it is Batman. I'm keeping this one.
Oh.
We have a motion.
Second. Come on, people.
We have a second. All in favor? 4 and 1 abstain.
Who's second?
Motion and a second.
Whatever.
We approve the guy.
Now the consent agenda. It's a long one.
Many of the stipends that you see on there are dual credit stipends. That was part of the negotiated agreement in the new CBA, so we are getting those taken care of. We have some new employees. We have found David Benson to teach 5th grade at the intermediate school. He is currently teaching at a Catholic school in Fort Wayne. He completed his transition to teaching program last May through the University of St. Francis. We also are hiring Selena Finn as an agricultural science teacher at the junior senior high. She has 3 years experience teaching agriculture at Black Hawk College in Galva, is that how you say that? Galva, Illinois. She has a bachelor's degree in animal science and agricultural education from the University of Nebraska and a master's from West Texas A&M in animal science. I think that's all the comments I have to make on that agenda.
When do those two start? Is it?
Selena's first day is scheduled to be December 20th.
Okay.
I wanted to get a few days before break to meet the kids, kind of transition into it, and then she's going to be here for
Yeah.
finals week to deliver those, and then
Thanks.
hit it very hard on
That right it.
January.
Eight.
No, that's finals week. I was thinking the 12th we're off, the 13th, or 15th for the start of the second semester.
And David will start second semester. It'll be our fifth section of fifth grade, so we'll have to combine. So there's some logistics to work out, but class sizes will go down, so all around it's a good thing to be full staff in fifth grade.
Very good.
So just be prepared for some parent calls about their children being switched in classes in fifth grade.
Looking forward to it.
Hopefully they will all be
Looking forward to
happy, but not all will.
So Selena, did she find that online?
No, we recruited her through a local gentleman who's going to marry her.
That's
I
how
don't
we
know,
get to
yeah.
That is some background information right there.
Well done.
Okay.
Good recruiting.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, not that I know of. I don't think she found it online. I think Katie Caston had put out feelers to a lot of her old students.
Gotcha.
One of her old students is in a relationship with her and bringing her back to LaGrange.
Excellent.
I don't know where they're going to live.
Like that student.
I have extra room.
Yeah, I'm assuming on the homestead. of some sort.
I'm about ready to start renting it so we can get people here.
I get a basement.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Got a motion from Sue, second from Derek. All in favor? Consent agenda is approved. Board member comments.
Merry Christmas. Enjoy the break. Well-deserved break.
Okay, calendar review, January 10th. 6:30 here.
At the next board meeting, will you discuss whether or not you're going to be doing more of your board listening tours so that I know what the
Yeah,
schedule is.
at the next meeting.
Yeah, we'll,
Just want to put that in your head.
thank you. Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
Motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thanks for coming.